Good morning, and I welcome you once again to another bright day. We are grateful to God for ushering us into another day. Like I always say, if our content is a blessing to you, we want you to just like and also share with a brother so that you'll be a blessing to them. We are doing this so that people will receive wisdom for daily living. So if you think that the content we share here is a blessing, you can share it with other people so that it be a blessing to them as well. Our quote today says that circumstances can determine what happens around you. Circumstances can determine what happens around you, no doubt. But it's your choice and not circumstances that determine your attitude towards them. No circumstance can override the power of a right attitude. So today's quote is telling us that it's not so much the things that happen around us that determine our lives. It is the attitude, the mental perspective from which we observe those things that happen around us that determines what happens to our life. There is an interesting story in the Bible in Numbers 13 and 14 when God was taking the people of Israel. He had taken them from Egypt and was leading them into the promised land. And the Bible records that at a point in time, God told Moses to send 12 leaders from the various tribes as spies into the land the Lord was sending them. And their work was simply to find out about the land, how fortified the walls of these lands were, and how good and fertile their land was. And they were supposed to just bring a report. In fact, if you look at the Deuteronomy account, the Bible says it was the people who engaged Moses to do that. And I believe Moses asked God, and God said, okay, fine, let me show you how you go by it. And the Bible says that when these people, when they realized that the land was good, everything was great, so they came back. But when they came back, they came with a report, 10 of them. They said, the land is good. We even brought fruit from the land. But the people there, they are too mighty, they are strong. We saw the sons of the Anakites there. We are scared. We cannot go into the land. They observed the situation with a very bad attitude. And the Bible says that these people, and as many who they observed it, could not make it to the promised land, except Joseph the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, who decided to observe the situation from a different perspective. Instead of seeing the giant as people who will crush them, they saw the giant as people who God will give them the ability to crush in order to actually prove that God was with them. So it does not matter what happens around you. The circumstances around you is not what determines how your life goes. I read about John Bunyan. I know most of us may know John Bunyan. He is actually the one who wrote Pilgrim's Progress. He actually wrote Pilgrim's Progress while he was in jail. In fact, Paul himself, the apostle, wrote many of his epistles once he was in prison. They did not allow the surrounding circumstances to determine their attitude. They do not allow the circumstances around them to determine the direction that their life go. They rather allow their attitude. It doesn't matter what happens around you. You can choose to observe the situations in your life with the right attitude. And when you do that, there is no limit to where you can go. Joseph was sold by his brothers. He could have allowed that to destroy his life. But if you read the account of Joseph, when his brothers came back, it's wonderful what he said. If you read Genesis chapter 45, if you read the verse 4 to 8 down, he said, I am your brother Joseph, the one you sent into Egypt. And now do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourself for sending me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me here. Joseph saw the bad things his brother did to him as an opportunity to do what God wanted him to do. Today, as you go through your day, and as you go through this year, I want you to know it's not so much what happens to you. It's so much the perspective. Two brothers can be raised by the same irresponsible father. One can use the irresponsibility of their father as the reason why things did not go well with him. The other can use the responsibility of his father as the reason why he chose to actually be a responsible man. So everything that happens around you doesn't necessarily determine the direction you go. It is so much the perspective, the attitude with which you see them. So don't let your circumstances determine the direction of your life. Allow your attitude to be in you, to lead you and to determine where you go. Thank you so much for joining us, and I pray that this video be a blessing to you. You can also share with other people to be a blessing to them. It's another blessed Wednesday, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.